WWE also wants you to forget about Dean Ambrose. But Roman Reigns isn't the only member of the Shield.
Roman, like Seth or in WWE, his name will always come up in some way, some type of way, because there's no Shield without Dean Ambrose, bro.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Ahmadjay back here with another video. Today we're about to be reacting to a video by WrestleMania. Video is going to be on 10 WWE wrestlers snubbed in the worst way possible, bro. Oh man, it's been a lot of wrestlers that like looked over, you know, disrespected, majorly from Vince McMahon. Recent times, Triple H with LA Knight. You know, if a boss don't like you, you're gonna be #1 on their hit list. They just do not push. They just not give many opportunities to. Maybe if they respect you enough, they'll just, you know, give you a push. But other than that, recent times it's just been kind of garbage too. And when Vince McMahon was running the company, it was just so terrible when you want that wrestler to get pushed and they didn't have a good standing with Vince. Well, back in the day we didn't know that, but probably 10 years ago when people started making these videos, we knew. But let's get into the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 900.
Bret Hart can't stand Triple H. Now, this is what Bret Hart had to say about Triple H during a live show through Inside the Ropes. I'm not sure where I stand with Triple H, just being honest. I never rated him. Everything he's done and created, it's all stuff he wrote out.
Look, I mean, after all these years, I can get like why Bret doesn't like a handful of people. It's I mean, because like he had a tragedy, just like being the person just to wrestle people in the 90s, and a lot of people in the 90s had an attitude. He had the fortunate of having like great matches with Shawn Michaels, but you know, backstage Shawn Michaels was part of a clique group, and everybody was just getting bullied by them. And you know, Triple H was part of this, and he just do not like it. A lot of people. I feel like when you get older, you should just stop worrying about these people. But like when you're around the wrestling, because wrestling is just real different.
For himself, I wish I could have sat back in 1992 and said, this is what I'm going to do for the next 10 years. I'm going to win every title, and I'm going to be champion 55 times or 500 times. I think Triple H is a phony, in the sense that he never earned it, and he never deserved it. He married the boss's daughter. I wish I had been in the dressing room when they knocked Vince out. I wish that it had happened, and he was in the dressing room, because he might not be married to Stephanie anymore, or it might not have ever happened. There was so much anger, and Triple H was such a slimeball back in 1997. He was a guy that I had very little respect for. Now, the Hitman has never been a devout supporter of Triple H, with the game having allegedly being the mastermind behind the genesis of the Montreal Screwjob. His deep-rooted hatred for Hunter has certainly lessened over the past 3 decades, but he's still not exactly the biggest fan of WWE's head honcho, as was hilariously proven at WrestleMania 41. During the weekend's on-stage presentation at that year's Hall of Fame class, Triple H, who had headlined the lineup, shook the hands of his fellow inductees, and upon doing so with Hart, Bret was hilariously caught on tape rolling his eyes at the latest display of fake sportsmanship. Bret addressed his current perception of WWE's head honcho and revealed that he isn't.
Hey, I mean, shit, Triple H is always caught being some sort of fake toward somebody. I don't know. I feel like in a couple of years, I feel like it's still kind of fake with CM Punk too, bro. There's no way they could have just cleared that up in like a little talk, bro.
Sure where he stands with him. I don't know how to answer that, where he currently stands with Triple H. I tried to move on. I always compare it to carrying around a big bag of rocks. If you can't just drop the big bag of rocks, it'd be a lot better for your mental and emotional state. At the same time, you have to follow your heart. I'm not sure where I stand with Triple H. Number 9, WWE wants you to forget about Roman Reigns. WWE being moved behind closed doors at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic came roughly 1 year after Roman Reigns' return following his second fight against leukemia. Putting his health first, Reigns opted against appearing for WWE during its Performance Center era, bidding his scheduled Universal Championship against Goldberg at WrestleMania 36. It was the right decision, naturally, especially when you consider the frequent reports of outbreaks of the disease within the WWE bubble. But Reigns may as well have committed a heinous crime. He was practically outlawed. All mentions of his name were banned on commentary and in marketing releases, and he was blatantly removed from the history during a Money in the Bank highlights video package, showcasing Seth Rollins' iconic
That's fucking
cash in at WrestleMania 31. WWE's in-house team edited around Reigns' involvement, showing Seth as only having cashed in on Brock Lesnar. Of course,
That's actually kind of fucked up. Roman Reigns was their golden boy, golden goose, bro. Like this proves that Vince McMahon was really angry at fucking Roman Reigns, bro. There's no way you literally phase him out of everything. This nigga was fucking dick riding Roman Reigns trained since, oh my god, the dark days of 2015, bro. 2015 to like the 2018 era. Jesus Christ. Shoving everybody down the throats, but then when he disagrees with something, you want to bury that nigga into the ground and not mention his name.
Of course, it was actually Roman who took the fall that night following a curb stomp. Paul Heyman, Roman's manager upon his return that August, later quipped that the big dog had considered himself retired during his 5-month sabbatical. But that still doesn't explain why WWE quietly removed their most pushed act since John Cena from history. Number 8, WWE also wanted you to forget about Dean Ambrose. But Roman Reigns isn't the only member of the Shield who WWE tried to distance itself from. But Dean Ambrose was a slightly different case, in that WWE is still trying to distance itself from him. Opting against signing a contract renewal in early 2019, Ambrose exited WWE on sour terms. He was treated horrifically on his way out, being constantly booked to look like a chump because it ate away at Vince McMahon that he—
You know what's crazy? No matter what you try to do, no matter what y'all try to like bury on top of it, you cannot forget about Dean Ambrose, one of the part of the trio, one of the best trio we've seen in years, since besides the New Day too, but like one of the best trios we've seen in years. And like he like completes the damn triple. And like as long as Roman, like Seth are in WWE, his name will always come up in some way, some type of way, because there's no Shield without Dean Ambrose, bro. It would just feel awkward, bro. 3 people make up the Shield, bro.
was losing what would become a major draw for AEW, and it still eats away at Triple H today. Ambrose is still being routinely left out of historical video packages. His Money in the Bank cash-in from 2016 is regularly obscured from videos showcasing the preceding Seth Rollins-Roman Reigns match, including most recently when WWE aired a video package of the match on Raw ahead of their latest meeting at SummerSlam 2026. That's acceptable to an extent, but his cash-in was after the match, not during it. But in 2020, WWE blatantly pretended as though Ambrose had never held the tag team titles with Rollins. Having captured his latest set of doubles gold with Buddy Murphy, WWE posted a graphic to their social media profiles that describes Seth as a 6-time tag team champion. It features images of his reigns alongside Murphy, Reigns, Jason Jordan, and Braun Strowman, but the lunatic fringe was nowhere to be seen. Instead, the images for those reigns featured Seth on his lonesome dressed in Shield clobber. To the current product, Dean Ambrose never existed, and will remain that way until he rejoins WWE, if that ever happens. Number 7.
That is just all types of petty, bro. WWE, stop being petty, bro. I know these fools do not like to mention AEW in any type of way, but like, yeah, I just really gotta stop being so fucking petty.
Karrion Kross is moved down the card. Triple H went on a rehiring spree upon being handed the keys to the kingdom in July of 2022, with Johnny Gargano, Dakota Kai, and Hit Row among those first few to be brought back into the fold.
Damn.
The first phone call, however, was to Karrion Kross and Scarlett, who resurfaced on SmackDown following SummerSlam, targeting Roman Reigns. Reigns, surrounded by the rest of the bloodline in the middle of being confronted by his Clash at the Castle contender Drew McIntyre, was put on a timer by Kross and Scarlett. The latter placed a clock in the ring, indicating that Karrion would be soon chasing the undisputed Universal Championship. And then he was a mid-carder within a month of his return. His first match back was squashing Drew Gulak, and although he did get involved in that Clash in the Castle showdown, he moved away from the upper card following his loss to Drew at Crown Jewel. He never again escaped irrelevance before his contract expired following 2025 SummerSlam. Re-debuting the 2-time NXT champion in this manner confused many, Kross included. He reflected on his odd return during an interview with Clutch Points, noting how he soon fell back down the WWE pecking order shortly after his shocking comeback. I was told there was an idea in the air that there could have been a triple threat match between Drew, Roman, and me at one point, but things changed directions like 50 times before.
Jesus.
All of a sudden, I think
Hey, honestly, bro, really, these fools really, all like a lot of these people he brought back literally end up just being cannon fodder, being mid carders, just going right back to the grind and getting fired, dude. I feel like it just really, I feel like these changes really just kind of just like, made. I feel like he was just thought this was just like making the audience happy, or in some way making him happy, just like being like, yeah, we bought you back, we're giving you a job, maybe for a year or two, have a plan after that. It feels like it was just for that. Honestly, I just don't know why they even hired Cross back. Cross was doing good on the indie scene. He's doing good on the indie scene now, too. But what's the point of bringing him back? Just like the fucking thing with Aleister Black.
I was competing against Rey Mysterio. I was just told something one week, and then we were doing something different by that Friday afternoon. It was weird. It wasn't weird. It was just a total snub. Number 6, WWE completely ignores Ted DiBiase Jr. Main eventing WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes versus...
Sorry, this one's valid. This one is really valid because this nigga really just did some horrible shit. I mean, not horrible as in like heinous, but like he stole from virtually a lot of people, bro. Like their whole gimmick is money, and like just to find out you really stealing taxpayers' dollars and all of that bullshit. I take that shit serious because we pay a lot, bro, and then they're just basically funding there and padding up their accounts.
And Newton for the WWE Championship with the involvement from Ted DiBiase Jr. would be like headlining the biggest show of the year with an Evolution 4-way over the World Heavyweight Championship that ended in Mark Jindrak interfering, still livid about his expulsion from the original lineup. In short, it would suck. But WWE still ought to have at least made mention of Ted's relationship with Rhodes and Orton though. As part of the Legacy stable throughout 2009, the second generation $1 Million Man was featured across Raw programming and was featured in multiple high-profile matches and angles. And yet WWE acted as if only Randy and Cody had comprised the group. Admittedly, DiBiase had been embroiled in a messy legal case, but there would be no harm in mentioning him by name, or at the very least, showing him in video packages. Fightful Select reported in the aftermath of Mania that WWE never seriously considered arranging for Ted to be involved in the build-up, but he would have at least made for a more sensible inclusion than Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll. What made it even worse was that Ted DiBiase Jr. was actually in the crowd at WrestleMania 42.
Yo, bro, he looked aged up like 15. Oh, no, he looked like he like 50 years old, bro. He only 40, but like I know he is, but he looked like 50 something years old, bro.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with showing him on screen just to get some acknowledgement as part of the storyline. Number 5, Brock Lesnar blanks Matt Riddle. They say there is a ton of hilarity and subtlety, and if that's true, then Brock Lesnar practically morphed into Doink the Clown at 2022's Elimination Chamber, as he completely blanked Matt Riddle during the Elimination Chamber match. Walking in to compete in the namesake match, Brock stood off with both Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles, two of the other match's participants, but he thoroughly ignored Matt Riddle. Watching the match back, you can see Riddle warming himself up for a heated jawjacking with the Beast, but Brock kept on walking. To the casual viewer, there was no substance to this non-interaction, but to those who know the beef between them, it drew snide giggles on social media. The animosity between the pair stemmed from Riddle's repeated calling out of Brock, despite Lesnar not even being interested in the match. They reportedly had a heated standoff backstage at the Royal Rumble in 2020, in which Lesnar was alleged to have been scary with his taunts, but that was the extent of their televised interactions until this fleeing interaction at the Chamber pay-per-view in 2022.
Honestly, for that, bro, I feel like if Matt Riddle really would just stop and literally just stop saying shit, and he probably could have like faced Brock Lesnar and like on his own and had a good feud. But like I feel like when you just keep yapping and when you just can't keep your trap shut, like you ruining your own fucking type of matches that could be future matches. He could have had a match with Goldberg, but like you want to do what you want to do. You can't really keep, like blaming a person, and they do what they want to do these days.
4. WWE omits Mick Foley from Hell in a Cell history. The Hell in a Cell match may be regarded as belonging to The Undertaker, but it never would have reached the level of popularity it did without Mick Foley. Staying true to his moniker of the hardcore legend, Foley entered the cell 4 times, the second of which was its gimmick-defining outing at 1998's King of the Ring against The Undertaker. Under his Mankind alter ego, Mick could have understandably been left permanently paralyzed upon 2 major impacts, as he was first thrown off from the top of the cell with just the announce desk as the landing pad, before he was subsequently chokeslammed through the roof to the ring below, with a steel chair going off script and falling with him, smacking Foley right in the jaw. Even though he suffered multiple...
And right there, they didn't have like the soft part of the ring, like I think I saw somebody fall through it before. Like they fell through it and then had a soft part of the ring. That was supposed to be it, but like this nigga just fell all on canvas and a chair fell in the face.
Injuries, he still wrestled 2 nights later. It's just a shame that it never actually happened, or that's what WWE would like you to believe anyway. As ahead of over Femi and Brock Lesnar's Hell in a Cell match at 2026's SummerSlam, WWE aired a video package on Raw highlighting the match's most barbaric moments, but nothing was broadcast from his iconic King of the Ring showdown.
That's
Foley's
fucking
recent
crazy.
abdication from his WWE Legends contract amid the company's growing relationship with the US President Donald Trump, amidst subsequent signing with AEW, are presumed to be the reason behind this particular snub. Well, at least Triple H was highlighted though, as he always is. Number 3.
Of course, Triple H is gonna be highlighted in these fucking video packages, and also, bro, like we already know WWE's petty already, but like for you to snub Mick Foley that made that match what it is. And Undertaker only didn't do that. Undertaker slammed him through the you know, the like the cage and throw him off the cage, and bro, him himself, he made that shit legendary, bro. Don't disrespect Mick Foley like that, man.
Stone Cold Steve Austin shuts down Hulk Hogan. While the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in 2006 was memorable for the right reasons, such as the emotional induction of the recently deceased Eddie Guerrero and the anticipated return of Bret Hart for the first time in nearly a decade, things went slightly off track when Steve Austin called out Hulk Hogan, who used the evening of celebration and remembrance to try and coax another booking out of WWE. Hogan, who hadn't wrestled since SummerSlam that previous year in a winning bid against Shawn Michaels, publicly called out the Texas Rattlesnake earlier in the night. That didn't sit well with Austin, who was irate that Hogan had used other people's night to his own benefit. Well, surprise, surprise, and he subsequently used his induction speech for Bret Hart to put a dream match between him and Hogan to rest. You know, it's funny, I was going through my bag in the back. I couldn't find something. I lost something. I went into the back looking through my bag, and I found a can of whoop-ass, and it had Hulk Hogan's name on it. Hulk's sour grimace told the whole story. He'd been humbled, and he had no opportunity to bite back. He would wrestle again for WWE at 2006 SummerSlam, though it was Randy Orton he defeated, not Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 2, WWE.
Honestly, bro, it's just like Hulk Hogan to try to put over himself during a sentimental Hall of Fame ceremony.
Doesn't acknowledge Umaga's death. Such is the tragic reality of life, the pro wrestling industry.
This one left a bad taste in my mouth, because like I wasn't aware that Umaga died in 2010 when I was a kid. And when I learned that they didn't like really do what they need to do to just give him proper credit and really celebrate not celebrate, but like really more like mourn his death, they didn't really do nothing. They didn't give him like no types of like recognition. Literally like the Usos were there, like they didn't even honor their uncle, bro. I mean, they didn't even like help. Though WWE didn't help honor their uncle, bro. That just like left a bad taste in my mouth.
Is forced to say a final farewell to countless performers every year, but there have been several examples of WWE sweeping a wrestler's passing under the carpet. Ranging from Attitude Era wrestlers like Test to on-screen presidents such as Jack Tunney, WWE often continues as if nothing has happened. But Umaga is a name that always sticks out as the most egregious omission. The Samoan Bulldozer tragically passed away in December 2009, but he went without even a tribute graphic at the start of the following Raw or SmackDown. It's been widely speculated that this was due to the company still holding a grudge against him for refusing treatment for his ongoing substance abuse that had resulted in his release 6 months before he passed. But still, he was a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, had wrestled plentiful memorable matches opposite the likes of John Cena and Triple H, and was a member of the esteemed Anoa'i dynasty. Depressingly, Umaga's omission from WWE history has remained an ongoing issue for nearly 2 decades, as he is still yet to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, despite now calls for him to join other fallen relatives like the Wild Samoans, Yokozuna, and Rocky Johnson. And number 1, so many.
It was just crazy, bro. They haven't still honored him in the Hall of Fame yet. I'm pretty sure his family is just like fighting for this, and I'm pretty sure like right now the Usos and all the rest of the bloodline probably like wanting to fight for this. That's why they like give him so many tributes.
Women. A variation of gaslighting, revisionist history has helped warp WWE's version of events as it pertains to women's wrestling through the years. Beginning in 2015, the company began promoting a so-called women's revolution, which was basically their way of calling Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch up to the main roster all at once. Things got better over time, at least on screen anyway, with 2 all-female Evolution pay-per-views, the inauguration of female-orientated Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, and Elimination Chamber matches, women being allowed to wrestle in Saudi Arabia, and crucially, more time being allocated to their matches. But it wasn't just the 4 horsewomen who helped revolutionize the game. As tremendous performers as they are, WWE has routinely avoided plauding the division's other pioneers, or at least when they do big them up, they downplay how influential they really were. Molly Holly, for instance, has benefited from this new treatment of women's wrestling with fleeting returns and a Hall of Fame induction, but her real achievements have been significantly devalued. She was critically involved in the transition of the division from the Attitude Era into Ruthless Aggression, but that's never been brought up in conversation. More historical acts like Velvet McIntyre and the Jumping Bomb Angels aren't even mentioned at all. The latter especially deserved recognition when WWE was reintroduced.
That's crazy. The lack of their recognition is just wild, because I haven't even even heard of some of these people. That's how like lack of recognition WWE has like really given them. So like I probably gotta take my own time to like look through these, these people that made the division what it is now.
Introducing the women's tag team titles in 2019, but they were shown no love, and unless things change, they never will be.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that last part really hit. And Umaga's like snub really fucking hit, bro. I really wish they just like give him like the proper like send off that he deserves. He deserves to at least be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to at least, get some type of like, just some celebration, bro. Like it was just unfair of them to just snub him like that. And the Mick Foley thing, Dean Ambrose thing, WWE is just so petty. This video really bought into perspective of more. There's still a lot of politics and there's still a lot of bullshit going on behind the scenes, even though it's so-called a better, area now. But honestly, let me know what pissed you off about this video of WWE being, snubby and like petty as fuck. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. We on the road to 900, and catch you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?